Hot 937 Hartford's number one fit popping R&B. It's your man DJ Michi the Black Kennedy, man, live at the rec on your Friday night, man. I got a special guest in the building with me today. Goes by the name of Blxst, man. Blxst, what's good, my brother?
What's the deal, man? I'm chilling. New album. I'll always come find you, man. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. July 19th, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
July 19th. I'll always come find you. I want to say, uh, who you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Who you done messed up with, man? Because that sound like one of them late night text messages. Like, I done messed up. You know what I mean? But I'm just letting you know I'm always gonna come find you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of that, but I'll say entirely it's more so about myself, like a
Okay,
note to myself situation to where I'm just telling myself, go ahead, get lost on this journey, go through what you got to go through. But just know I'll always come find you. I got your back through it all.
that's fire. That's a fire concept. I like that. But talk to me, man. The West Coast is on fire right now. You know, all the Kendrick stuff going on. I love the fact that you're dropping the album now. You know what I'm saying? We getting some new music from you. You've been on a run too, man. You know what I'm saying? Dropping Risk Taker and the Rewind joint. Just different vibes, different energies too. So definitely makes me excited about this new album. So how's everything been?
Man, it's been crazy, especially coming from that Kendrick and Friends show. That was a moment in itself, just being a part of that, jumping on that stage. And
Yeah.
shout out to PG Lang and Kendrick, the whole team, for giving people the platform. But no, I think that highlighted a different light on LA as a whole, and it got the whole city motivated to drop. And I'm taking lead on that right now, dropping this debut album. And it's
Mm-hmm.
that time, man. I've been dropping projects, but it's been small, like 8 songs. I dropped the 6 tape series. Then I drop my project Before You Go. But for like my fans, it's a full body of work with skits and
Mm-hmm.
it's a concept album. We really diving into the details of everything on this album. And not only that, I'm bridging that gap from the West Coast to the world. So it's a lot of different flavors throughout this album.
And it's crazy to hear that, you saying this is your debut because like you said, you got so many projects out, you got so much music out. How did you approach like this being the debut album versus like, some of the other projects that obviously your fans gravitated toward you from and those are the projects that we fell in love with you with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a mixture of two things. One was like, okay, when I was dropping my earlier projects, it was more so me in my own room using the tools that I had at the time. So coming around full circle, it's like now that I have the resources to really make that dream album that I wanted to make. And the other thing is like me as a kid pulling all those inspirations that I grew up listening to. Of course, my dad from the West Coast, so he had me on Pac and Snoop and Dre and all that. But my mom also had me on like neo soul and we blend with the Latin culture being from LA, a lot of Daddy Yankee and Pitbull. Like we know that like secondhand nature. So just me having this variety of music, I felt like my fans wasn't able to see that with my earlier projects. So now we tapping into all sides of me. You know what I'm saying?
That's fire. Because I was gonna say, even with the concept of the album, the title of the album, and then listen to some of the joints you've been dropping, it made me think like, okay, what is this album gonna sound like? You know what I'm saying? It makes me think it might sound a little bit more international or a little bit more worldly. You know what I'm saying? Where you're gonna be able to kind of touch, them different areas and different sounds. And I know like the Rewind record, especially up here in Hartford, Connecticut, we got like a big Spanish community out here too. So like that record went crazy up here. You know what I'm saying? So
So
I definitely think that the direction that you in right now, being able to just touch them different coasts, I think is super smart.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sticking to my roots for sure. I'm from where I'm from, so it's gonna bleed out of me. But it's also different sides that I'm excited for the fans to see that they're not gonna expect for this. And that's why I call it my debut, is because it's all of me, not just one part of me.
hmm So I know for the people that's just tapping in, we got Blast on with us right now. You know, people they hear your music, they love your music, they might not know your story. You know what I'm saying? I want to kind of take it from the beginning as far as just like what got you into the music. I mean, you're multi-talented, singer, songwriter, producer, and you've been behind the scenes for years. So, you know what I'm saying? Talk to me about the beginning.
Man, so I came from the east side of LA, 75th and Central to be exact, but My uncle and my sis is two people that I looked up to that did music. They had a rap group, just in the household. But
Mm,
my uncle would be taking me to studios and like letting me play with the beat pads and things like that. So, coming full circle, it's like I have a purpose now because they stopped doing what they doing, and I didn't really have family that really got far in the industry. I'll take you back even further. My grandma, back then, your husband had to sign contracts, and she got offered a deal with Motown,
mm,
and then my grandpa was like, I didn't marry an entertainer, so her dreams got cut short. So
wow,
my purpose is like living through my family, like captivating off them dreams right now, and it's coming full circle. I'm learning as I go, but I'm taking it head on and just being a student of the game and taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
that's fire. And I mean, you could definitely hear it in the music. You can hear, you know what I'm saying? You can hear the just you being able to experiment with the different sounds. You could tell. And I just feel like your demeanor as a whole, it just seems like I could tell you always in the studio. You probably a studio
Yeah,
rat. You always in there creating and all
yeah.
that, being that artist. So that's super fire. Coming up outside of just like your family and inspiring you, like who are some of your like musical inspirations, like people that inspired your pen or inspired you to just, keep
Man,
doing
I
it.
would say I was definitely a nerd of like Ryan Leslie,
That's crazy. That's my
Pharrell,
guy.
Kanye, just
Yeah,
watching they in studio videos when they was making a beat, then they had jump in the booth, write the song. So that's kind of how I entered the game too, just being multi-dimensional, hands-on with everything. I started off engineering myself, producing, songwriting, and that's just how I looked at being a creator from the jump. I don't see it no other way.
that's fire. Now, with you being able to do all those different things, being multi-talented that way, like what's like your favorite thing to do? Is it the writing part? Is it the producing part?
Funny enough, my favorite thing to do is to perform it. I feel like that's what we do it for. Like
That's crazy.
after the
Okay.
process is done, it's fun. It's some fun in the process, but to see them actual like crowd engagements and see people cry to the lyrics or sing it word for word and really connect with it, that's an undescribable feeling.
That's fire. That's fire. Now, you went from, let's say, like your project, No Love Lost, to now your concept, I'll Always Come Find You. What is something that we are going to learn about you that we may have not known, what I'm saying, on this new project?
Man, I think more so than anything is it's just something you can relate to. I'm talking about my journey and my story, and it might not be directly someone else's story, but I'm sure it's something that people can relate to. I'm an everyday guy just like everybody else, even though I'm in the industry and it is, glitz and glamour. I still go through real life things. Like I'm with my family on a daily basis more so than in the industry, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like doing the self work. That's what I'm trying to preach in this album. Just make sure you constantly working on yourself and embracing that journey, the ups and downs, the failures, turning those into wins, and
Mhm.
just changing people's perception on reaching that destination, but just embracing that journey while you're in real time.
It's fire. Now, I know, the album comes out July 19th, so real soon. I know you probably want to save the features. You probably want to wait for us to, dissect the album, get the album and all that. But I do want to know, especially with just all the West Coast energy right now, the Kendrick energy right now, all of that. Like, were you like done with the album? And then when all of this happened, did it like inspire you to be like, oh, no, I got to get some of these people on the album? Or like, what was you stuck in that situation, or was the album just already done?
The album was about 90% done. I'm not gonna lie. When Kendrick dropped that They Not Like Us though, I doubled back. I said I need some energy on here. Like it was one thing I was missing. So I
Yeah,
for sure it wasn't necessarily a feature, but it was like a certain sonic that I felt was missing
that's
when we
hard.
got it done. Yeah.
Fire. That's fire. Now, was there any like dream collaborations in? Because I mean, the thing about you is you definitely want a big collaborator too. You've collaborated with a lot of different artists. Like, is there like a dream feature or a dream collaboration that you haven't touched yet that you want?
Yeah, I mean, I said in every interview, one of my, I shoot for the stars, so I always say Pharrell Williams because that was part of the inspiration why I even started doing music. But
Mhm.
outside of that, more recently, I like her. She been going crazy. I
So,
think that'll be a crazy collab.
yeah. Okay. And I know this is like a super cliche question, but it's just like, looking at your trajectory, looking at your come up in the industry and all that. It seems like, you've maintained kind of like a pretty like independent, what I'm saying, like blueprint, what I'm saying, as far as like you know, you out here doing like your partnerships and stuff like that, doing the business and all these things, but you kind of like, it seems like you real hands on about your stuff, from the videos to the music to all of these things. You got a lot of artists that's listening in right now, especially on this show. And you know, is there any advice that you would like to give like an artist that is just trying to like navigate right now, especially right now in the industry, because of things just changing so much, and the AI stuff and all this different things that's been changing? Like, is there any advice that you can give an artist that's listening right now?
Yeah, I would say team building. That's the biggest thing for me that got me in a position that I am now. Even down to the partnerships that I make, just having that trust factor is somebody that you can lean on, because you can't be everywhere at all times. So you need people that you can trust to step up to the plate. And, you know, you are as strong as your weakest link. So be mindful that you are able to trust these people and hold them accountable with any situations when you know, whatever you asking for. It can be case by case for every artist, but just me specifically, I would say just build that team and have that trust factor and keep building on it. You know, open communication and transparency, because it get tricky. A lot of things can go over your head. You got to be able to pay attention to the details and things like that.
Fire. That's fire. And you know, before we get up out of here, man, I just want to know, you know, with your career, man, your amazing projects, you know what I'm saying, the fans loving you, you know, you continuing to build your brand. It has there been a moment yet that you like, okay, I'm here and I'm Blxst. Like I'm him. Has it been that
I
moment
don't know.
yet?
I don't know if I'm a ever. It's crazy because I had like certain accolades to where you would think that I would feel like Double XL freshman, Grammy nominated, but I still feel like I'm still entering the game. Like I like to look at myself as a student, and I love looking at myself that way because I constantly want to be learning. I don't want to ever feel like I got to a point where it's like, oh yeah, I'm here, because
Right.
that's when you're gonna stop growing, you know. So I'm just trying to enjoy every step of the way, and I'm in it for the long run. I really care about this music stuff, and I think about ways I can add to it instead of just take from it.
That's fire. That's fire. Well, that's to me that speaks longevity, my brother. So
Yeah,
definitely
appreciate
salute, man. Blxst, appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, for tapping in with us, Hartford, Connecticut. We salute you. You know, congratulations, and we can't wait to hear the album, man. July 19th, I'll always come find you. You know what I'm saying? When the album comes out, we definitely got to talk to you again soon. So, you know what I mean? Keep doing your thing, and whatever you need from us, we here, my brother.
My God, appreciate you. Hot 937. You already know. I'm gonna be in Connecticut soon. Hopefully, we getting on the road after the album drop.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. You got to pull up and touch the people for real.
Let's do it.
All right, brother. Hot
All right.
937.